YouTube. It's your homeboy Fat Rat Evolved, original West Side Playboy Gangster Crips. And y'all, I'm caught up, right, in this life I'm living, right? Trying to be a grandfather, balance that with being a husband, balance that with being a father and a guide and a beacon in my community, a servant, an activist, and evolving in the process of facing certain levels of difficulty to become better. I'm gonna put it that way. So yeah, let's take this let's take this next step, man, because now we done left LP, right? And you got to go back through SRCC. You got to go back through Norwalk, and they're gonna go like do a series of tests on you with counselors and stuff to determine where you belong in the youth authority, right? What facility are they gonna send you to, right? And I remember, man, there was this a white lady, man, kind of heavy set white lady, and she was a counselor, and she would call us out to the yard and sit chairs out on the yard, right? And we would be out there just chopping it up, basically. And she was trying to get perspective on people, like, and I remember her telling me, man, one day she said, "You know what, Theus, you're a manipulator." And I asked her, I said, "What made you say that?" And she said, "You're very smart, but you're a manipulator. Like, you always want to have your way, and you're always looking for a way to have your way, so to speak." And I said, "Well, that's interesting. I didn't know that about myself." You know? And she like, "That's manipulation." It was interesting, man. But anyway, so we did our thing, man. I had actually, man, in my tour, and I know y'all gonna notice this, man. I left out a lot of instances of violence that I was involved in, going through East Lake, and now coming into the youth authority. Um, I didn't think it was necessary, to highlight a whole lot of that, man. But it happened, and now I'm coming into the youth authority, man, and it's about to go up a notch because you know it's all about being tested and tried by those who don't know you, and then your reputation to some extent goes ahead of you, but it comes from the East Lake, which is juvenile hall. You got grown ass men up in TS, man, and then in YA, not just TS, but you got grown ass men in the youth authority, man, who've been dealing with this for some years now, right? And all I had done with and dealt with was, East Lake up to that point, camp, and I've been through every step, man, juvenile hall, camp, and now I'm about to go to YA, right? I have to stay in YA. I'm 18. No, I'm 17. And I have to stay in the YA on an adult commitment until I'm 25 years old. I don't have, in youth authority, you can have a life sentence and you can go into youth authority and at an age like 14, 15 years old, go into the youth authority and they can't hold you past the age of 21. So you'll parole um, and be discharged on a life sentence as a juvenile. But I'm an adult commitment. So I'm going to be held to youth authority possibly until I'm 25. And in light of what, like I said, man, me and Jesse were what I was initially charged with, what we ended up making a deal on, I think we came out pretty good, man. So here I am. I'm in the youth authority now. I'm in SRCC again, Norwalk, and I ain't going. I one of the key things it was a counselor there named, I think it was Calico in the gym, and he used to always brag about Monster. Like he knew Monster Cody, and he would talk about his resilience and how smart he was and how strong he was. And Monster had a plaque up on in the gym. He had a plaque up by the weight pile for 285. That was early Monster. You know what I mean? Going through YA. You know what I mean? But that was a big deal. At that time. Of us all coming through the youth authority, man. One of the things I remember, man. I remember I got into it with a dude, man, from a rival set, man, and I tried to let him make it, you know. Um, but I'm gonna say I got pumped up, man. I got pumped up because of the type of homie I was, right? I tried to let the dude make it, man, and he I took a stance that I'm not gonna let my enemy do nothing. That was my position. Like, I'm not letting y'all do nothing, right? Up in this youth authority, that's us, right? And keep in mind, Insane and I believe Scooby probably beat me to YA by a few months or something, right? But they went to Nellis, right? Nellis is kind of a juvenile, like a younger facility, and I don't know why that happened because I know me and Scooby the same age. I think me and Big Loke same age too. But they went to Nellis, and when they classified me, they sent me straight to YTS. So I caught the bus from SRCC. I had one incident in SRCC. I ain't gonna get into the gory details of it, man. But I handled, what I had to handle, man. With an enemy from a rival gang, man, and it didn't go too bad against me, but I ended up going to YTS. But you get off the bus in YTS, man. Hey, gangster's paradise, man. You in a real, I'm gonna call it, as they called Tracy was the gladiator school. This was the training ground for Tracy. All of the hitters was in TS, man. It was so many just household Crip and Blood and Pyru names and Bonnie Hunter names, man, that you just like, this where we at, right? And in my mind, I have to be, I know Playboy Gangsters is not established in YTS, man. No homie has been here, right? I thought that, I don't know if y'all remember Hector. I thought somebody told me Hector went through C&D, which was the camp program in YTS. But the mention of his name was too quiet. Like, it wasn't like, yeah, your homeboy Heck. You know how they supposed to represent it, right? Like, he over there pushing or whatever, man. I didn't even want to acknowledge that one. I was like, okay. So I got to TS, and I remember they took me straight to Y and Z. I got my bedroll, but it's other stuff I got to get from the laundry and all of these different things. I'm being orientated. I forget who was kind of giving me the scoop of what to do and what was this and what was that. But it's straight gladiators, man. I'm telling you, man. I'm gonna give y'all a list of kind of who we talking about right here, right? Just on Y and Z on Unit 3, which is orientation for me at this time. So I'm about to get orientation, right? And some things are gonna happen that are gonna change, a lot for me, and then I'm gonna mess that up. It's gonna be beneficial, and then I'm gonna end up messing that up. So anyway, I go into my cell, and it's just single man cells at the time. Um, Immediately I close my cell up and I just start like making my bed. I really don't have nothing. I ain't made a phone call. I ain't did nothing. I'm kind of in like a strange land, you know. And I remember this must be like Friday that I got to YTS. Uh, End of '82, December, maybe January of '80, maybe even January of '83, man. Late '82, early '83. I'm gonna put it right there. But I'm on Unit 3 in Y and Z orientation. I'm cleaning my cell. I'm making my bed, getting things organized and whatnot. Then I hear more bounce bumping in the hallway, and it's loud. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I ain't got no sounds. I ain't got no TV. I ain't got no zoom zooms, wham whams, nothing on my books. It's just, the locust on his own, right? Um, but so when I'm cleaning up, and then I go by I go by my little sink, and it's a little dirty. I know how to clean the sink and all that. So I'm yelling down the hallway at the little brother sweeping the little trusty. I'm like, hey man, y'all ain't got no Ajax. I need some Ajax. So, I got you. It wasn't really, there was like a lot of cooperation in that. So while I'm at the door yelling for the Ajax, the brother directly across the hall from me is the one got a little size on his clean shave. He got his little waves or whatnot, man. This is Fish from '60s, right? Big Fish, man. And Fish is the one bumping the more bounce, right? And he dancing and partying and shit, you know what I mean, banging and whatnot, man. And um I just threw the what's up to him, and he what's up me and whatnot, man. So Chow time hadn't come yet. It was before Chow. And so Fish was doing the bumping, man, and I think there was, I don't know, some kind of book in the cell. Maybe a Bible was in the cell. Um, but I once I made my bed real good, um, and folded up the little belongings I had and tucked them up in the little cupboard that was right across from the bed. I just laid back, man, and I just start thinking, you know, and you can hear I'm listening to the tear, you know. Fish is bumping. He started off with more bounce, but he got heat up in the cell. He bumping. Um, but it's the communication. Hey, cuz, where whoop de whoop at? Hey, well, what he wanna do? Let that nigga. You can hear all of the little drama and whatnot, right? So my cell pop, boom. I immediately come to attention, come to the cell, roll the door back and look out. And they like, it's day room. You can have day room if you want to come out. So I close the little cell, come out, day room time. I start walking around. I ain't talking to nobody. I'm a little apprehensive, you know. Um, I don't really see anybody I know yet, right? So I'm walking around in the day room, just looking around, touching things. What's this? What's this for? Got the little ironing board. They got the little microwave out here and different stuff, you know what I mean? And the chairs with the card tables and all that. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do all right with that. You know what I mean? They playing dominoes, they playing spades and tongue. No, what's the other game, man? Where it's the 8-man, 6-man, and 4-man. God, I forgot the name of that game, man. We did that for cups of water and push-ups and all kinds of stuff, man. 8-man, 6-man, 4-man. I can't even say. I'm way back. I can't see it. Anyway, so all that's happening. Um, and we hung out. Everybody's hanging out. I just sat down and watched TV, stayed to myself. Really, nobody bothered me. Nobody hit me up. Nobody said nothing really too much to me. My first day, that Friday, it went kind of cool. We just sat down. I watched whatever they had on the TV was entertaining to me. I watched TV the whole time. I didn't even want to get no card games or nothing. I don't know nobody, right? It's a phobia, it's apprehension. It's like I'm not comfortable. I'm not in my element yet, right? So so they lock us down. We go down, come back out for chow. Walk through the little hall to walk down into the chow hall. Sit down, smash whatever it was they had for us, man. And I didn't even sneak nothing back, man. I just took took whatever that I had. It was a pretty decent meal, man. I don't even remember what it was. And stacked the little trays on the way, walking out, boom, going out. And I think it was Harv Dog from A-Trey Gangsta. I don't want to be, because I remember Harv Dog is the one who hit me up. Harv Dog. Had to be Harv Dog, man. Like, what set you from, cuz? Like that. Right? And, accordingly, man, I'm from West Side Playboy Gangsta Crib. All of it. Right? Oh, yeah. And he, gave me the handshake. Well, I'm Harv, woo, woo, woo. A-Trey Gangsta, right? And kind of, we bumped a little bit, and then I'm big fat rat, homie. Oh, okay, 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 yeah. I think I heard about you, like something like that. And I'm like, all right, homie. I'm up here on this side, and he like, yeah, yeah, we know where you at. I'm like, okay, and I caught something in that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what he saying when he say we know? You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, they paying me attention and ain't saying nothing. What's going on, man? Am I a part of some grand conspiracy? You know what I mean? You never know about these things, right? So everything for me is a caution or a precaution, right? So I go back, man, day over with. We come back out, do the little programming at night, day room time at night. I kept it TV, man, and then after that, um, I just went on down, man, and went to sleep, man. Now, Saturday morning, after the breakfast call, right? Again, Fish over there bumping. In fact, I forgot I did introduce myself to Fish, right? Um, and we was good, man. We was good. So we shut down the next day, Saturday morning. It's Saturday morning. Now, at this time in YTS, you would, after breakfast, a little while after breakfast, they would open up, and you could have some yard time. Like, you could go out and be in the middle of the football field, or you could walk to the gym and go to the swimming pool. At that time, the swimming pool was open, right? You could go over there and swim and whatnot, right? And that was my first spot, man. I went over to check out the swimming pool because I like, the water, getting in the water and whatnot, man. But I'm by myself. You know what I mean? Dudes is clicked up. I'm by myself. I really lightweight, low key feel a little awkward. It's a little awkward feeling, a little displacement, right? But I'm over there at the swimming pool, and I'm sitting there, just checking, just looking at everybody and the interaction and whatnot. And the homie Duck from 74 Hoover hit the corner, and he got a couple of other grooves with him. I don't know them, but I know Duck. And he laughing, if the homie, he got a character, right? Ferry, what's up, baby? You know what I mean? Woo, woo, woo. So man, it's all good, man. How long you been here? Like, yada, yada, yada. We chopping it up, man. He said, I got one for you. I'm like, what's up, homie? He said, "This nigga claiming your hood." I know he can't be from your hood, cuz he letting the show lines is dissing him and walking around on the tray line dissing him and all that, dissing your hood and all that. I'm like, huh? He said, yeah. I said, what? He said, matter of fact, he might be out here. So Duck get to looking around. And he like, don't, what unit, cuz only, I think he was on M&N or something like that. And I'm like, what do he look like? And he like, oh, short, light, kind of light skinned dude. He about, oh, you about my height, but he got the little fuzzy, like the little fuzzy eyebrows or something. He trying to describe him to me, and he said his name was Moonshine or something. And I was like, knock it off, Duck. Duck, like, man, I'm serious, homie. Nah, they say from your set, cuz you letting these niggas Disney. I'm just mimicking Duck, right? So I'm like, long story short, man. Another unit. I don't know how that worked because I thought that in my recollection that when it was a unit like Unit 3 would be on, right? That would be the only unit that had access to the gym and whatnot for that time, that slot, and then it would be Unit 2, or maybe he was in Unit 3 but in another like S&T or something like that. I don't really remember where the dude was from, but he came walking into the gate probably about 25, 30 minutes later. And when I'm just hanging out with the grooves right there, we clowning. I don't even know what we was talking about, man. I'm trying to figure stuff out, man. How you get a phone call, man? How you get on the phone, homie? I need to call moms and them and get some stuff up in here. I ain't got nothing, homie. And Duck is like, man, I ain't no good right now. I would hit you, but I ain't got nothing, homie, not yet. You know what I mean? But you got your toothpaste and you get that you go up to the control center. They giving me the whole orientation, right? And we just chopping it up, and then this dude walked into the damn gate, right? Mr. Moonshine, right? Duck on it. He like, there you go right there, cuz that's him. Come on. I'm like, you ain't got it, man, please. So I go over there. They following me. The grooves is following me. And I hit him up. I'm like, where you from, homie? And he said, I'm from Playboy Gangster. I'm like, what they call you? And he's like, they call me Moonshine. Listen to me, y'all. I had to do this, man. This is not a brag, right? It's not boasting or nothing. I slapped fire from that dude's mouth, man. I bloodied his mouth out. Quick one. Bah! What? And he backed up. Well, what you do? What you doing? I'm like, nigga, don't never let me hear you say you from Playboy Gangster. No lie. You ain't from no Playboy Gangster, nigga. Then he say, I'm from Linwood Playboy Gangster. You mean? I said, you mean Palm and Oak? And he's like, no, I'm from Playboy Gangster in Linwood. I had to get him one more time. These things don't exist, right? But I just reaffirm. By the time he went back to his unit, because I told him we didn't want him out here with us. Go get yourself together and whatnot, right? And don't let me hear that Playboy Gangster stuff come up out your mouth, man. Right? Big fat rat. Don't let me hear that. This is some of the things and the activities are going to escalate, right? Because we're not known in YTS. And this is the place of all places for the juveniles, the young delinquents, right? It's YTS, right? So long story short, when you do something like that, right? The word of that activity travels very fast, right? I already know all of that. I wasn't really putting a 10 on my response because I could have. He didn't have a chance. Like he didn't have anything for me, right? So I could have went further with it, right? But I did it with my hands open. Like I smacked the dude. I ain't even fire on him. I just smacked it. Like I don't want to hear that no more, right? Then when he went on to talk about something in Linwood, I gave him another one. Like I don't want it, and his mouth was bloody. So I sent him back to his unit. And in fact, I never heard of him again. I never even seen him again. I never heard his name mentioned anywhere, let alone being synonymous with Playboy Gangster. But anyway, I never heard his name. Moonshine. I never heard his name again. So while I was doing my time in YA, in any youth authority. So get back in the unit. Now we kind of, it's opened up a little bit. Now it's the 3 unit is moving around. His homies moving around. His G's out here. You know, on U and V, downstairs from Y and Z, Monsters down there with Superman from H-Ray Gangster. I don't want to be wrong, man. It was a bunch of hitters down there, man. But I just remember Monster mainly and Superman down there. Then come to find out, Little Monster is on Y and Z with me, Kershawn. Big Verge, Gangsta Mike came out, my boy. That's where I really got. I'm good, cause now Gangsta Mike is from Southside Compton is here, right? This my guy, right? Um, Ant Dog from '60s. Um, it's an all-star cast, man. I can't even. Diamond from H-Ray Gangster. Harv Dog. This is on just a 3 unit. Okay. So we kind of gelling now. We gelling. On the weekend, we gelled a little bit, got to meet each other, know each other. I sat down and played a little dominoes, played a little spades, you know, held my weight, you know what I mean? Had the homies like, cuz you play with me, homie, cuz this dude a dump truck. So we, you know, we good. I forget who it was. I ended up being, we tight, you know, we kind of held it down for a little bit. So I want to skip to a part, right? Because this is the real meat and potatoes of what went down when I first got to YTS, right? They had what they call a trade line. So Y and Z is going to come down, right? And at the bottom of the trade line, let me tell you how this worked today, that Monday. Now, by the end, I done got a little acclimated by Monday. I got there Friday. I had my incident Saturday. My first incident. With the dude claiming the set. Come to find out, it's some other stuff going on that they saying that this dude caused by being like a weak dude, like a chump, right? But saying he was from my set. He ain't from my set. He could have been from my set and acting like that, and I would have made him stop claiming my set. I had to do that in YTS a couple of times. But that, then we get acclimated. We playing dominoes, we playing cards. We went out to the back of the yard, shot some hoops, did a little buffing on a little bit of iron on the weekend. We had a little you know, a little time, and you know, got the introduced Mike introducing me to the homies from the Compton car, the Wash car, right? Yeah, it's the homie right here, woo woo woo, right? So they like, right? So, you know, and then everybody ain't trying to lock in with you. It's just an acknowledgement, right? So Monday comes. Now, Monday, I got to go walk over to the trade line and take, I don't know what the name of the test. It's like a high school placement test, right? I got to go take the test. This is part of my orientation into TS, right? So we walking. We walk down the long ramp upstairs to downstairs to get So it's all of us. We get released damn near all at the same time. So it's 100 people flooding out of Y and Z coming down to hit the trade line and walk over to the trade area, right? But it's like a YTS is like it's got a big football field in the middle of it, and then it's got like a concrete track around it. Right? It's a concrete road that goes around the football field that's in the middle of the institution. When we come out of Y and Z walking down to the bottom, Diamond from A-Tray Gangsta is standing at the bottom of the stairs. If you know anything about Diamond, Big Diamond from A-Tray Gangsta, you know this is one of the A-Tray Gangsters, you know, more renowned hitters. You know, one of the more known hitters, right? We walking down the trade line. Fish is next to me on my right side. So when we turn like this to start walking down the trade line. Fish is now on the back side of me. I'm on this side. Diamond is right here, and he's like looking directly at me, right? And I look at Fish, and I look at Diamond. I tell Fish, yeah, cuz checking on you right there. Fish say, he not looking at me, right? I think he looking at you. And I look back, and I think Diamond says something like you lucky that wasn't my people. And he was talking to me, right? Like, I'm lucky it was. I'm trying to process what he even talking about. What is he talking about, right? I don't have this together. But I retort, you lucky that wasn't your people. He just looked at me. We walking though. The trade line is moving. It don't stop. I'm trying to put this together like, what was that? Fish got his eyebrows up here like, I don't know what you do, homie. I don't even know what he talking about, man. I ain't got no A-Tray Gangsta problems, right? So we walking. It's all us, Big Mike and all us. We mobbing to the trade line, trade area, right? We get to the little entry part where they release you from the trade area. You got to take all your metals and go through the metal detector to come in and out of the trade area, right? Or come out of the trade area. Because, you know, it's all kind of manufacturing steel and weapons. You could do all kind of mad stuff out there on the trade area, right? So I hear, where them poop busts at? Show line. It was like, hey, I had to process what I had just heard, right? But you know how in like the mosh pit they dancing and whatnot, and they'll pick your ass up and move you to a certain like different part of the mosh pit, and you'll be like moving on top of the crowd. So I wouldn't have known who to diss back if the second voice wouldn't have said show line. So I dissed this D. I don't even know whatever the worst diss we was using on the show lines back then. I yelled it at the top of my lungs and turned around and started running towards who this was. It was two dudes, a big, dark-skinned, heavy-set dude and a Samoan dude. And I seen him. And I turned around and started running to him, and Mike grabbed me. And I kind of was shaking Mike. It was like, cuz, get him. And about five, it might have been Fish and a couple of other people, man, picked me up. They picked me up, man. And put me on top of, like, the crowd and moved me back and sat me down. No, cuz, not right now. Not right now. We know who they is. I'm on fire. Listen, man. No, sir. Not on my watch. You're not gonna diss nothing. No. That's full blown activity, right? I done found my purpose in life at TS today, right? And I ain't been here 3 days, man. Right? So when I go into the classroom, Mike trying to pop jokes and shit, he trying to calm me down, but I won't calm down though. And I'm like, Mike, what you know what is a way we can get out of here? And he's like, cause you gotta calm down, homie. It's time to deal with that. You got time, you'll be able to deal with it. Don't worry about it. I'm like, I ain't worried about it. I just wanna, I wanna get a proper introduction. I'm using a little terminology. I need to meet these dudes, man. You know what I mean? So as we're dealing with testing and whatnot, we doing high school equivalency testing and all that stuff, because I didn't graduate from high school. We taking our tests. I get back to the unit. I got two issues to deal with now. Number one has become Showline's dissin Playboy Gangsta. Number two, what's going on with Big Diamond from H-Ray Gangsta? Got a full plate, right? Hey man, Monster hit the corner. This was Monday. If it was child time or right after child time, before yard or night yard or whatever we had going on, Monster hit the corner. Came to my cell. What's up, cuz? Like, I know Monster, but I'm not tight with Monster. But we know each other, right? He like, that little situation with the homie, that's resolved. That's And I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, I'm trying to understand what was that about. No, you don't know. He was like telling me like the homie got he has like his baby mother, and he has children that live in schoolyard hood, and he heard about what you was in here for, right? And it kind of offended him, but he good though. Like, that ain't our business. Like, that, we out of that. We out of that. I'm just letting you know you good, everything good. I'm like, thank you, homie. I appreciate it. Okay. And it was kind of simple like that. It was the same day, because I found out that the dissers was Smoke Dogg and JoJo from Vintage Showline. Right? No exaggeration. JoJo hit the corner. This how TS was. Wherever they was situated, right? They found a way to get over to my unit and holler at me. To get into Y and Z and holler at me. That's how TS worked. Right? It was a little open, but you had to have a little bit of juice. As I learned later, you had to have a little bit of juice or know somebody on the compound that got a little bit of juice that could move you around, right? Of course, Monster had a juice card. Monster could pretty much do what he wanted to do in TS. But JoJo hit the corner, man. Samoan JoJo from Showline. Knock on my door. I bang. Like, what the fuck that Playboy Gangsta Crip like, nigga? Right? He like, cuz I understand. He like, I'm here for peace, man. I wasn't, I just wanted to say to you, man, that, we normally don't do that, like the diss thing. This how he told it to me, right? He like, we normally don't get at y'all like that. But it was an old Buster nigga claiming Playboy Gangsta, homie. So we just used to humiliate him, you know what I mean? Whenever he would be in the trade line, we dissing. Because we know he ain't going to do nothing. It's just punking him out. You know what I mean? And I listened to him. And he's telling me, but we both, cuz, we apologize for that, cuz. We know you're a real Playboy Gangsta nigga. We know who you is and whatnot, doing me like that, right? I said something to the effect of, I don't wanna have no like words. I just with y'all, it's just the activities. Cause really, technically, I hadn't done anything to the show lines up to that point. Like literally, I told y'all, going back all the way to Camp Rocky with Green Eyes and Duck in them, man. You know what I mean? We didn't have a confrontation, and then on the streets, I wasn't going to Venice. I wasn't riding out to Venice, right? When I went to Venice, it was to go to the beach. You know what I mean? But it wasn't, to go on no field trips or nothing in Venice, right? Just hadn't done it, being honest. And I know they had declared themselves to be allies with our enemies. I understood that. But I just ain't rode out there. Like, it wasn't that deep between us to me. We didn't have no bodies between us and all that, man. It was seeming like to me that they wanted to be in the war. And then you got to remember, man, things happen along the way that I didn't talk about. Like T-Bone from Showline, man. Light-skinned T-Bone, man, was my boy, man. Like, we went through, the juvenile hall phase and all that stuff together, man. And T-Bone ended up getting his money, man, and doing his thing and living, man. I remember he bought the recording studio from Earth, Wind, and Fire and started a record label, man. And I would go up to the recording studio and record in this studio. Later on, this 90s, right? This was my guy, man. So with the Venice problem, it was lightweight to me. Like, I never really, had gotten into the Venice. But when they did that, it triggered me. So be like, okay, it is what it is, man. Y'all enemigos, man. But he's apologizing to me, man, for the diss, right? It's homies who are promoting me getting adjusted to TS, man. Don't like go overboard and end up on O&R, because in there it's bad. Don't you ain't got to do your time like that, fat rat. You smoother than that. I'm like, I am, but we talking about diss words and stuff for the set. You know what I mean? So it was a hard pill to swallow, right? But I notate. I took the notes. I'm like, okay, y'all was dissing a little Buster, you know what I mean, and playing with Busters, you know what I mean. I kind of want a public apology, like really. That's where I'm at. Like, I want a public apology. I don't want you to just, cause you did that shit all loud out in front of the trade line, right? And in my mind, you need to be just that loud out in front of the trade line apologizing. Or, we can go with the full court press game, right? That's where I'm at, man. But I'm gonna tell you who de-energized that whole confrontation, man. Bulldog from Showline, man. Bulldog is like a homie. You know what I mean? If you know Bulldog, man. But yeah, he took the energy all out of that. Fat record, you ain't gotta be on there. Nigga made a mistake. You know what I mean? Let a nigga make a mistake, man. Let your shit go, man. You ain't got to be holding on to that shit, man. Nigga apologize and everything. Talking to me, you know what I'm saying? Me and Bulldog used to play them dominoes and shit, man. Me, him, and Bandit and Crib from 9-4, man. We would be at that table, man. Damn near breaking that table, banging. You know what I mean? But yeah, I had to egg that. I had to I took the high road, man. Uh I accepted the apology. Um and it that ended up being really nothing, man. It didn't, it was some chump shit, man, and it never happened again. I put an end to all disrespect to Playboy gangsters in YTS. Period. Like that's it. Like ain't no passes and all that, man. If anybody, right? Like that. And sometimes, man, when you know how you're positioned with your reputation and you know how to do time, you ain't gotta whoop everybody, man. You ain't gotta stab everybody. You ain't gotta have a confrontation with everybody because we dealing in principles, right? And as long as we respect the principles, right, we can make it, right? We gotta be here, man. This is where we live at. We not just passing through, man. We got calendars to walk off up in here, man. Right? And it could be hell, right? I don't know if we can make a heaven out of it, but you damn sure get to hell, right? Um, so long story short, man, we egged that, got rid of the problem that was going on with Big Diamond. Um, and I ended up getting to talk to moms on the little phone with the collect call. Moms wasn't with that. She couldn't afford. She would tell you she can't afford that. But she took my information and was setting me up to get some of my essentials in there. You know what I mean? And when did it all happen? So we ended up going and doing this testing, right? And we would just go to the trade line, and then it was just a program, and it was a routine. And then more homies, like we ended up being more linked in. We ended up being more linked in. I remember Lil Monster left, and he was telling me he was going to talk about Lil Monster, man. My first, anyway, yeah, Lil Monster. He left and went to Ventura School. Now, everybody in YA wanted to go to Ventura School, man. Why? Because it was co-ed. The girls was in Ventura, going to school with you and interacting with you and stuff, right? Like, damn, they got a YA like that? Like, yeah. So, unbeknownst to me, I'm taking my high school equivalency placement test, and I scored high enough in the placement test to be qualified to go to Ventura. What? Like, yeah, you might be able to go to Ventura School. Where the girls is at? Well, the black woman, something else, man. Just had that effect on the brother, man. Yeah, I mean, so like, yeah, I'll be able to do my time where there's girls, women who we can interact with. That's different. I ain't never heard of nothing like that. So, long story short, when I made it to TS and I got acclimated and I clinked it up, made my rounds in TS, man. But I just was in orientation, man, and I was there for about 40 days, man. And the counselor told me that I had been accepted into Ventura, to go to Ventura. Hey, man, you should have heard how the homies was clowning. It was low key. It was just a bunch of hate, right? Cause you can't go. You know what I'm saying? Hey, step your education up, man. You know what I mean? If y'all need a tutor, I'm clowning. If y'all need a tutor, line up at my door. I can get you ready for the test. Maybe you can make it. You know what I'm saying? That's me. You know what I mean? Yeah, you need a tutor. You know what I'm saying? You run around here with all that anger and hostility. You know, you're fighting the wrong person. You need to fight that book that you can't whoop. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, man, I got accepted into Ventura School, man. So bing, I don't even stay in TS the first time I get there. I'm going through the orientation, educational placement, qualified me for Ventura. I was out of TS in 45 days on my way to Camarillo, California, a Ventura school for boys and girls. It's different. Hey man, listen. I pull up in Ventura. They put you in this unit, and the back window of your cell is more like a, how can I describe that? It's like a what a dormitory would be. Thick mattresses. It's different. It's got a desk for you to sit at. You know what I mean? It ain't like a cell, but it's a cell. But it's set up different, man. It's on these cottages, they call them, right? It's got this whole educational backdrop. You know, it's a whole, it's set up for to be like a college campus. That's what it's set up like, right? And I'm in the back window. Lo and behold, sweeping a broom, cleaning out the back courtyard. It's JoJo from Venice Showline. He then caught the thing ahead of me. Nah, he hadn't. He couldn't have been here 2 weeks ahead of me, right? But nobody was talking about leaving like I was. You know, they just slip out and dip out. I'm making these grand, you know, announcements that if you need tutoring, you know what I'm saying? You need somebody to work with you, feel me, to get your GPA up, you know what I mean, to where, you know, you might qualify to get down there with the women where I'm finna go at. Let me know. You know what I mean? That's my thing, man. I'm clowning. So, lo and behold, it's JoJo. JoJo's like a I don't know, tits. He's sweeping out the back area. He's sweeping. And I'm like, JoJo, what's up, cuz? And he like, who's that? I'm like, this big fat rat. Playboy Gangster? I'm like, yeah, that's me. Oh, what's up, homie? Woo, 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 man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So he sweeps and he walks over to my cell. He walks over to the outside window of my cottage for orientation. He like, man, this shit right here different, homie. He telling me the whole layout, right? And then he apologizes to me again, like, again, cuz I ain't mean no harm by that bullshit, man. I just was clowning the one dude I knew was a little sucker, man. I said, oh, we passed that, man. We good. We good. I'm like, who all here, man? He like, man, I ain't even really met none of the homies yet. You know what I mean? I'm still in here with you. They just let me out so I can come out and sweep this area and get a little, you know, fresh air out of the cell. They let you come out if you want to do a little bit of work. You just talk to this counselor, yada yada yada, giving me the little blade. You know what I mean? How to play, how to move, right? So he go back in and the girls start coming out, man. Walking around in the area that he just swept. They're right across the little courtyard area, front in like the back of their cells is across from the courtyard to the back of our cells, right? But it's screens. You can't see each other and stuff like that. I guess I would imagine you could see each other at night. You know, if you squinted your eyes to look through you know, if you that perved up, you know what I mean, you could squint your eyes to move them around real fast to look through a 1-inch screen to try to see something moving. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, they would walk around in the courtyard, and you know what I mean. I'm reading on my Iceberg Slims and all that at that time, man. I got all the Donald Goins books. They got that stuff on the shelf. I'm reading Donald Goins and Iceberg Slim and all these different books, man. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to bring my Mac up. You know what I mean? So I'm hollering. I'm starting to get in the window and low key holler. You know, hey, come on now. You're moving too fast. You know I'm trying to holler at you, right? That's all that, right? You try to put your backhand down, man. You know what I mean? And you better not be talking out the back. The girls is telling you. They saying if you talk out that window to us, and one of the counselors catch you talking out that window to us, they gonna roll you up and send you back wherever you came from. I'm like, damn, just for trying to holler at you? They like, yeah, you gotta learn, get my name, my number, and then slide me a kite. You gotta slip me a kite. That's the only way and then we'll talk when we get a chance, but don't do this and get yourself rolled up. I'm like, damn, that's good information. So what's your name? And what cell you in over there, right? Yeah, I'm big fat, so I'm putting it in, man. I'm bidding. Listen, man, I come in the spot bidding, man. You know what I mean? Accordingly. So Ventura, man. Welcome to Ventura School, man. We done passed up TS. Had a couple of little incidents in TS, but we in Ventura now. It's different. This is program, smooth. Go to school. The girls are sitting in the class with you when you go to school. They have co-ed dances. The girls come over to your cottage and they dance. They put on all the little hookup, turn the lights down low a little bit, let y'all dance. You can even do a little bit of slow dancing up in that joint, man. You hear me? Yeah. Yeah, it's different. Ventura School is different. So let me run this list down to you who's at. It's, I'm connected to that's in Ventura School, right? Number one is Kilowatt, man. Big Kilowatt from Harlem, the homie, man. And then we're going to give Capone his with Kilowatt, right? They on the unit, right? We on, I can't name these units though, man. We on one unit, and Kilowatt is behind us right there. Then across this way, Cartoon is right there, because Cartoon's here too. And Joker from Main Street. And there's some homies over there with Cartoon. It's Kilowatt, and there's some homies over there with Kilowatt. Here, number one, man, Cadillac Bob. Listen, man, Michael Harris, man. I'm not exaggerating, man. I said before 250, but I think Cadillac had on like $500,000 worth of jewelry, man. I'm not even inside of Ventura on his neck with the Fila BJ on, the Beyond boards and all that. Yeah, that real stuff, man. Yeah, Cadillac was in there like that, man, with the big pieces on and all that, man. That's how he was in Ventura School for girls. That's what it's called, not boys and girls. It's Ventura School for girls. Right? Man, when I seen Cadillac Bomb with all that jewelry on, I was shocked. And he popping it, you know what I mean? Him and Goldie from Frisco and Pimpin' Tone from Frisco with the long flies and the full leather coats, man. I'm looking at these dudes like, look at this, man. Y'all think y'all on the streets and it's all these women, man, and y'all star players, man, you know what I mean? And it's like that, you know what I mean? But technically Kilowatt had the flyest, really the flyest woman on the compound. It was his pretty. Kilowatt called her his pretty. Big Watt, man, you know what I mean? We was in there smooth with our time, man. On our unit, it's Lil Monster. It's 8-Ball from 111, Roscoe from Santana Block. It's Chim Chim, Virgil, man, Fadus, Hoover, Naughty Rock from 9 Deuce, Hoover. My partner, Michael Hightower, I ain't seen or heard from him. Life of the party right there, I ain't seen him. It's Dirty Boy from Insane. He's Rob Dog at that time. Tip from Compton. It's Kato from the Valley. Who else is it, man? I ain't gonna miss nobody up in there, man. That's about it, man. No, I mean, Fat Rat, right, from A-Tray Hoover, man. Me and Fat Rat, Dadisi, we like brothers, man. At that time, it was a bond in us that later on became a lot more profound. Like, damn, man, You never know who the God is working to bring together and put together to serve his purpose and his interests, right? And you learn these things in time, man, and you the value of certain relationships, man. But me and Fat Rat from H. Ray Hoover was very close. Um, Calhoun from H. Ray Hoover was over there with Cartoon too. Yeah, it'll come to me way more homies, man. Way more homies. But a day in Ventura, man. A day in Ventura. Insane from Insane. My son, my oldest boy right there. Insane was a big old youngster, man. You didn't even know the way he looked, you wouldn't think he was the age he was. And he messed me up because we all buffing and Insane can, he can buff. You know what I mean? He can pick up some weight, man. Right? I find out Insane ain't but like 15 years old or something. We all at least 17, 18. But he a goon though. Rider. So I'm like, come on, man, you gonna be my son, man. You gonna be my oldest boy. And that's how we used to clown. We call each other Junior. Say, Junior, where you at? We sit up and drink that coffee, man, till we get like till our head just start buzzing. We drink that bud, that John Wayne, man. We get that coffee, man, and just we get the tumbler. And you turn the tumbler, you coat the tumbler where you don't never really do nothing but rinse the cup up. You don't wash the cup out. You just rinse it out. So the resin from the previous mud shots, right, starts to turn the inside of the cup black. Some of y'all don't know nothing about that. Darkening that tumbler, man, with that mud. Drinking that John Wayne. Y'all don't know nothing about that, man. So we in here, listen, man. We done really bonded. Like we are like we close knit, man. Really, everybody's really basically close knit. Um, so how it will work is you would get up in the morning, eat breakfast, come back and get ready for school. When you go to school, you go to certain classes. You change, maybe you go to about 4 classes, 5 classes a day. Different classes, right? School, you got, your math class, your English, your science class, and then you might have a shop trade class, and then come back and you have another art class or something like that. And in these different classes, it's the women. Now I started off with China Doll from Frisco, right? And you get to really see closely, you get to make that close observation of that competitive nature women have to move other women out of the way, because not necessarily that they want you, they just don't want her to have you. Kind of like deal, right? You got to be mindful that I didn't never have any of this interplay with women on the streets. I never had that. So now I'm in isolation with women in the Ventura school, man. And I'm really like just fascinated with all these good looking ass shapely women that's sitting up in this damn youth authority with me. So China Doll had a murder. She killed her dude. Then the other little Anita Baker looking little sister, who was also from like Vallejo or something, she killed her dude. You would look at this little innocent looking like, you are a murderer? You know what I'm saying? So I started off with China Doll, and by the time, and that it was short lived, man. You get to sneak a kiss in, and you riding kites back and forth every day, and sliding the kites, and the homegirl Cricket from Harlem was in there. Pam Yates from Atlantic Drive was in there. My homegirl Puppet was in there. She ended up coming a little later. My homegirl Yvette was in there. They came a little later, but towards the part where I was about to lead off. uh, Nene, man, from A. Trey Hoover. Now, Nene is messing with Cadillac Bob. Now, I'm telling you how Cadillac Bob is rolling right here, man. I'm just telling you. That's Bobby Harris, man. Real street player, man. You know what I mean? One of them young hitters, man. You know what I mean? But I peeled Bobby for Nene. I'm going to tell y'all that. I peeled Bobby for Nene. That ain't no exaggeration. And Bobby was taking care of Nene. Nene liked them Newports and all that, smoking and all that. I'm not doing none of that. And I'm tired of you doing it. You know what I mean? And you need to think of something else you crazy. I'm like, okay, well, I'll take that. I end up knocking her though, man. Nene from A. Trey Hoover, man. And we bonded real close. Let's go back. So we in the cottage one day. Me and Lil Monster, we shooting pool. Lil Monster, if you know him, man, I'm not gonna say nothing about Lil Monster, man. I don't know none of that other stuff that I heard. I can't say yay or nay to anything about that. I'm just telling you my experience with Kershawn Scott. So that's the first person that I got a write-up on once I was actually admitted to YA was Lil Monster. I got wrote up. Because me and Lil Monster playing pool and he talking too slick for me. And I can't take the slick talk. So I walked by him and he's still slick talking me. So I grabbed him, I picked him up and slammed him on the pool table. And he had the most puzzled look like, what the hell you doing? Don't you know they going to kick us out of here for that? And we got a write-up for horse playing. Because we laughing. I mean, he ain't laughing, but it's a joke. It ain't an attack. This the homie, but he doing a little too much talking. And I tell him, you Lil Monster. You not Big Monster. You know what I'm saying? That's my first write-up up at YA, man. In Ventura, man. A write-up I got on Lil Monster. And that couldn't have been, I wasn't there 2 weeks by the time that happened, man. So, yeah, we would come out on the weekends and they would have, like, co-ed. We could just, like, kick it. Co-ed, right? The unit across the way where Nene and them was at, right? They would come over to our unit, and I ended up getting the big boom box, man. And I would so I had all the beat for the functions, right? Where we was kicking it at. And man, listen, man. We would just sit there and chop it up, man, about, what we gonna do when we get on the streets, man. How it's gonna be, how it's gonna go down, and yada yada yada, man. And it was love, and I'm telling you, I was in love with Day Day, man, from A. Trey Hoover, for real. But fast forward, she ended up going home long before I made it to the streets, and she kept communication with me for a minute. Then she stopped. Then I heard something about her, right? Cause her brother was Eminem from Bonnie Hunters, and one of her like family members' brothers, I forget the Big Mondo, I think his name was, from Bonnie Hunters. He had came into the unit where Cartoon was at, and we kind of had the conversation to give him a low key pass, cause he was like, he a big dude, man. But we gave him a pass because he was cooperative. Like he wasn't in there for the problems, right? He was just trying to make his time, do his time and get out of there, right? So we going on the process. That's how we would jail, man. We'd come out. We had baseball teams, softball teams, football teams, basketball, we would ball. We would go to church. Hey, man, listen, man. Cartoon is burnt out, man. Cartoon would be on on the choir. The homie was burnt out, man. Cartoon would be on the choir. Most of us who went to church and services, we only went to meet the girls at the services, right? Cartoon would be up in the choir singing, and when they would sing the song "I'm going up yonder to be with my Lord," you could hear Cartoon going, "I'm going up yonder to see with my Lord," and he would say it all loud. You know what I mean? Everybody, the homies be busting up like Toon burnt out, but Toon don't see a problem with what he doing though, right? Beautiful homie, man. Really is, man. A lot to say good about Toon, man. Except that he almost got a shot, but that was a prison story. So anyway, um, you bond, right? You bond. Monster left. I think Monster paroled or something. I don't know what happened, man. Little Monster. He paroled or something. Chim Chim made it out. Cadillac Bob made it out. Cadillac made it out before most of us. I remember a time, man, we was all kicking it. This how Bobby was, man. We all kicking it. I got the boombox sitting right here with the Randy Crawford. I forget the name of it, but one of Randy Crawford's CD cassette tapes in the boombox, and it's sitting there. And I left the box and I turned around and I was talking to somebody. I went up to the front of like by the TV area and sat down and I forget what I was talking about, who I was talking to. But when I came back to my box, my cassette was missing. The boombox sitting right there, but the cassette is out of it. And I'm like, you get mad. Like, nigga, don't play with my shit. Like, you know what I mean? I know y'all ain't playing with my stuff. And Chim Chim is giggling. I'm like, give my shit, Chim. Quit playing. He like, I don't got your shit. You know what I'm saying? So now we got to play this whole charade, right? I'm like, I know all y'all standing right here, and somebody seen somebody go, like, what you want niggas to tell? It's all that, right? I'm like, all right. So this is what we gonna do. I'm about to throw a YA fuck. Now, if you don't know what a YAF is, right? That's when you stand up in the middle of everybody and say, whoever did this, F they set, F they mama, they dead homies, everything they love, etc., etc. You disrespect everything. You don't identify the person because the person, you can't identify him. You don't know who did it, right? But the diss is going to make the person who did it have to get down with you. That's a YAF, right? So I'm like, I ain't going to waste no time. You know what I mean? They're going to either put my CD back, my little, I'm saying CD, the CDs wasn't even in existence at the time. Somebody going to turn my cassette in, or we're going to be bumping up in here. I'm telling you right now. Chim say, don't do that. Hey, listen, man, if you know Virgil, man, you know what I mean? Rest in peace, homie. You got to love Virgil, man. And I was at home. I was always at home in the 50s, man. Broadways and the Hoovers, man. And fast forward, let me give y'all something, man. Me and Woody was pushing through the land one day. We go down to 51st and Vermont to Mama Mary's, man, because she's making the dinners. Mama Mary, that's Cadillac Bob's mama. Michael Harris is his Fat Rat. That's Little Fat Rat Fathers Hoover. That's Cadillac Bob's little brother. Rest in peace. Marvette, all of them, right? But I'm here with, I see Peanut from Harlem, my guy. This is later on, but I'm just jumping ahead. So me and Woody pull off. And he like, let's go down here and see Chim. Chim down here at this little apartment. I'm like, Chim? He like, yeah, he right down the street. So we go pull up on Chim. Chim come out the apartment building in some combat boots and some jeans and a t-shirt or whatever. Hey, listen, man, when he see me in the car, immediately fire on me. He immediately jump up. You know, chill with the left lead, right? Let's go. You know what I mean? He give me a piece to the stomach, man. I had gained a little bit of weight, man. He like, let's go. I jump out the car. Me and Chill fisticuffs right there in the middle of 48th and Vermont, man. 40 something, man. 47th or something like that. We in the middle of Vermont, squared up. You know what I mean? I'm like, man, stop playing, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Verge, man. Virgil, man. And his little brother Buddha, rest in peace, too, man. Them real homeboys, man. They gonna represent it to the fullest and push it, right? And be good doing it, right? That was Chim, man. But anyway, I had to fast forward on Chim, man. So Chim like, don't do that. I'm like, give me my shit, Chim. You wouldn't be saying that unless you knew what was going on with my cassette. Give me my stuff, Chim. Quit playing, man. He like, don't do that. So I turn around. Bobby is in the thing with Tony, with Pippa Tone, finishing getting his hair, his little Shirley Temples done, right? He done snuck back out here and put my cassette back in there and went back in there and sat down before I could realize he had ever took it out. That was him. He come out laughing. You know, niggas steal. You know, that's what we do around here. We steal. Yes, yeah. Yeah, so we would everything was a plot, man, to get to one of these girls, man. If you know, we all doing YA time, man. It's a plot. We gotta do it, right? Every day it's the same thing. We passing letters and love letters and writing love letters. And, you know, your love letter might have some panties in it one day or something like that, man. You know, I'm telling you, man, it was really going down. You know what I mean? So we ended up in a situation where one day I would do assessments, like I'm assessing the bloods, right? Because in YA, it was one of them things where if the bloods get thick, right, they gonna start acting up. Long as they not thick, it was almost like how we used to deal with the Mexicans, man, right? We never really, and that's something I'm reflecting on, man. We never had a problem with the Mexicans in YA or Eastlake. Never. Not one time. We never had a Mexican problem, man. I don't know if it was because they weren't as thick as us, as it works out in the pen, you know, the management of, you know, the population management and observation and stuff like that. I don't know if it was because of that or just that we was turned up. But we never had a problem with the Mexicans or the white boys in Eastlake or anywhere in YA that I know of, all the way up to as far as 1986. We never had a problem, ever. So I just want to note that. And this, I can tell you the down essays, man. We did time together. You know, they minded their business back then. But Big Diablo, man, he was from the east side, East Low. He wasn't from East Los, but he was from the east side. He might have been from Florencia. Big Diablo, the swole Mexican who had the big ass Coke bottles, and he's the only person in Ventura who had a boombox louder than mine. But we used to go at it. I would try to get a boosted tape or something, and I'll pull down on him, and he always knocked me down with that war heartbeat. I'm gonna make it real funky for you. Da-doom, da-doom. He used to get me with that bug, man. Big Diablo, man. He was in the paint too, man. But he minded his business. You know what I mean? He was on swole, had the Coke bottles, had all the clout. You know what I mean? But but he minded his business, man. But we would always have them boombox bump offs. He loved to beat me with the volume, right? We would have that. Uh, it's a lot more, man. I'm gonna get into, man. I'm gonna get into the how I ended up leaving Ventura. What were the circumstances behind that? And the Bloods, as I'm saying, they get thick. They get thick. In Ventura, man, I didn't have one fight in Ventura. Not no real, nah. Not cause it's an environment where it's just you want to keep everything calm because they rolling dudes up, man. I remember Droopy from 10 Deuce Raymond came there. And he was turned up, and Drew was like, Fat Rat, I ain't with all this, getting along and all, because he always want to be, into it with the Bloods. That's his thing, right? I'm like, Drew, you ain't going to make it here. He's like, I don't care, cuz I'm gone anyway. So Drew probably didn't last in Ventura 2 weeks. He did his super hard thing, and he was gone, man. Shout to Drew, man. But I wanted to stay, I wanted to stay for obvious reasons. Anyway, so it came a time, man, when I was thinking about Nene's brother's homeboy, the brother from Bounty Hunters, Mondo. And he was a big dude. And then the Bloods they had gotten about 2 or 3 more Bloods in there. Right? But when Slim from 20s, I don't know, tall, dark, Slim. When Slim from 20s came, I turned the blue light on. I'm like, this dude is incorrigible. And if you put him together with Mondo, and we got to go and deal with him, it's just going to be a little more than what we, not that we can't deal with it, but it's going to be a little more of a fight, right? We got to get them while they right at that stage right there. Because if they get 1 or 2 more, man, they going to try to take off on us. I'm telling you, that's how Slim think. He a problem like that, right? So I'm like, the homie's like, what you want to do, cuz? I'm like, we going to pick a date, right, on a Friday at the end of school, and we just going to take off on the Bloods. Period. Everybody signed up. You know what? We're going to make it next Friday. And I'm going to leave it right there, y'all. Because it don't always go down the way you think, man. You can plan a pretty picnic, right? But you really can't predict the weather, man. Whoever came up with that one is so right. You know what I mean? With that being said, man, it's your homeboy Fat Rat Evolve, original Westside Playboy Gangster. Remember, we are winners. We on a 1,000-mile journey that begins with one step. That step is taking us one step closer to our success. Unity is the key, y'all. We got to get unified in order to do things. The report I got back on the little A-Trey gangster situation, man, with Young Ad Hefe and all that was a beautiful report, man. That's Class A, the way you handle that, man. The homies is it's homies that's fit for the task out there to deal with that thing, man. To keep things managed. Nothing like order, man. You can do a lot with order. But stop trying to do everything by yourselves, homie. Like I said, man. 1,000 pounds is only 10 pounds to 100 men. So if we get more involvement in the things that we're trying to lift, we can make the task easier. Right? It's your homeboy Fat Rat signing out. Y'all have a blessed one. Until next time.